Hey, you already know. It's me, JT. Say something might be.
What it do?
Yes. And we're here for, I guess this is the last.
Season finale.
The season finale. It's a show that we ain't gonna see for a couple of months.
I would say probably like
I don't even know why they say
half,
finales anymore. A week finale. That's what it is.
And we'll be back next week.
But it's
I feel like
it's
this
a
is like
finale.
the third time this show has come on this year.
This year. That's what I'm saying. I don't even know why they have finales anymore. Just tell us.
Maybe like this the season break, or like
maybe,
the season
maybe they
pause.
need to call. They need to. I don't know. They need to come up with a word or a term.
Set a finale.
Set a finale, because no, it's not working for me. Actually, it's getting me more upset.
Tell them why you mad, JT.
But we have here another episode of Iyanla, and it involves 3 brothers and the daddy, John. Mm-hmm. And the youngest son, Esam, I'm thinking that's his name, Esam, called Iyanla, and want her to come and help with their situation. The one thing, the big thing was like the 2 youngest knew each other, but they never knew about the oldest brother. Mm-hmm. And the oldest brother, I think he said like the daddy told him about the other 2, but really didn't. It seemed like they was eating popcorn one day. It's like, you got 2 brothers, and they kept on watching Starsky and Hutch,
Yeah.
And that was it. Well, okay, where we go from here, Dad?
Yeah.
And so, but they never met. The oldest and the 2 youngest have never met, and so, and I think they said they just found out about the older brother, right. Esam, when he was telling Iyanla.
Yeah, he called the older brother. I think he called
the oldest
them.
brother called. Hey, I'm just.
I know you don't know. I know you don't know me.
But I'm your brother. Surprise!
That's a weird phone call to get.
I know you don't know.
Especially if you. Well.
That seems like a normal call these days.
Yeah, you know what? You heard that well. Like, I don't know.
You don't know me.
Especially with a father like John and how he seems to be, that phone call wouldn't have surprised me.
Yeah.
I probably would have been like, what? But I wouldn't have been too surprised that I had siblings out there I didn't know about.
Mm-hmm. And so and he basically telling a rundown of his life, or it seemed like all 3 of them almost had this same identical story about their relationship with their father.
What was their relationship with their father though?
It really wasn't none. But the thing was, the going theme was he always lied to him. He was never present. He was, I'm gonna be here at such and such. Let's meet here, and he never showed up. I'm gonna be here at such and such time. He's never there. And they basically saying he wasn't backing up his word,
right?
Throughout their childhood, and and the youngest one that he was stuck on, I was on the front porch, and I was looking for your car, and and
just sitting out there waiting, watching the cars go by,
and they were stuck on that story. I'm like, how many times actually did you sit on your porch?
It just seemed I don't think
on your
that probably didn't happen one time.
It
just seems like a great analogy to use to say, he would say he was going to come, I would wait for him, he never showed up. It's just like me sitting outside on the porch watching the cars go by and wondering which one is going to stop and be him. That's basically, I think, what they were saying. I can't imagine him actually being outside on the porch.
Well, they were running it like that.
Yeah.
He did that like 3 times a week. That's what he did.
I would blame the mama on that.
Hey, get your ass.
Keep waiting. He said he coming. She know good and hell well he ain't coming. He said, you been out there. You only been out there for 2 hours. He coming now. Come on.
Go give him a blanket and a pillow.
Yeah. Your daddy he gonna wake you up. So you gonna wake up at his house. He woke up on the same porch step.
Which was, and so that was basically, and the middle son Sean, his story was like he got into a life of crime. He said, you know, he was a burglar and
selling drugs, yeah.
and in and out of prison, and basically he was like, you know, you of course he said he lied to him too, you know,
the father lied to him.
Yeah. And, you know, and he said probably about around the age of 10, he just, you know, he kind of figured this dude ain't gonna
he ain't coming.
You know,
he had porch sores, you know, not bed sores. He was sitting out there waiting, and he's like, you know what? I don't think he coming. I mean, eventually, you know, you get it.
Yeah,
like this. He's just basically telling me what I want to hear, or telling Mama what she want to hear, and he's gonna do his own thing. So maybe
this the game we gonna play.
Hey,
well, this the game he playing.
Yeah,
I don't want to play this game.
I didn't sign up for this.
Not at all.
This is not fun.
And so, and then we go to the older brother, and he basically says the same thing. You know, he wasn't consistent with his dealings with the older son. He wasn't there. And he lied. You know, that was the main thing with all of them. You know, you just be straight with us. You know, if you gonna do something or tell us something, you know, be a man of your word. Mm-hmm. You know, hell, and you know,
they were saying that he would always come like with excuses of why he didn't do what he said he was gonna do, but eventually that gets old. Mm-hmm. And if
well, for older folk, quick, but younger folk, you know, you
got hope. Holding on.
You got hope when you got, you know, and so
why not? Because you don't really understand just yet what's actually happening. Like he's lying just to buy some time.
Yeah. Until
he can lie again.
And time goes past. Mm-hmm. We find out that Daddy had a stroke later in his life. And because he was looking kind of crazy, like he was in a marching band walking down that sideway. And
sideways.
Is that what it is? Sidewalk.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he wasn't looking right. We was trying to figure out, like, what.
Yeah, he was walking. It was something different about the way he walked. Like he was practicing walking, which makes sense for someone who had a stroke, and they said he was paralyzed from the neck down. And so to be paralyzed, and now you're walking with a purpose. I feel like
he walked with a good purpose.
He's doing very well for a stroke victim.
Yeah, and so she got all three of them together. Basically, that was basically the whole show as far as them telling their own stories and then getting them together, all four of them. And he was trying to tell, he was telling his story and his backstory of he was his daddy left him at a young age, and he's had to raise his 7 or 8 siblings, and taking left school and all of that, and just doing a man's role when he wasn't a man.
He wasn't a man, didn't know how to be a man, and there was no man around to teach him.
Of course. And I think he said when he was 16, 15, 16, he couldn't deal with it no more. He wanted to end his life, and he was, I guess, on a ledge or something.
Top of the roof.
You want to tell a story?
No, I'm just telling you the details. He said he was on top of the roof.
I mean, it couldn't be a ledge on top of the roof.
Well, since I know where he was, how about I tell you?
People already got the visual of he trying to die in his life.
Yeah, he was over it.
It was done. And he talking about his mama and grandma there and the police there, I guess.
And that what was weird about him when he was telling that story about how I'm on top of this roof, ready to end it all, because he felt like it was too much pressure for him to be trying to be the man with raising his siblings.
Yeah.
He sees his mama down there. He sees his grandma down there. He's like, I realized that I was alone. And I'm thinking, you got people down there.
You just said.
You got people down there. Evidently they concerned, because I ain't just going to show up if I don't really care.
It seemed like you came to that notion before you got on the ledge. That what made you get on the ledge, that you felt alone. You would have thought he came to that conclusion.
Yeah, but then once he looked down and saw him, he would realize that I'm not alone. I'm not in this alone. And then he said, he ended up, I was confused. Mm-hmm. Then he said he was in an institution or a psychiatric ward for 2 years.
Yeah, they said he wasn't right and he had problems,
and that's something that I don't think his kids knew, because he wasn't around to really tell them. And
Plus, he was a vet. We learned he was vetting, so he came back extra. You know, they already got problems, you know, when they come back. But he had problems gone.
He had problems on his way.
Maybe he should have been straight when he came back. Maybe he should have been a good father. Okay. I know the meaning of life now. But
I know what it means to be a man. And now I have something to teach my son.
Nah, I made it worse.
He came back and he was like, sons who?
I really don't know you now.
No. And that's the sad part about it, because we got so many men out here who are just neglecting the fact that they have kids. Not even giving, not two, not three, not even one damn about these beings that they brought into this world. And I don't understand how you can just write people off well. I don't understand how you can write your kids off, because I had to backtrack, because you know I can write a motherfucker
I got some people on my list I can write all right goddamn now.
But when it's your kids, then one of the sons, I think it was Eson, brought up a good point. He was like, okay, you had your stroke, and it was like you lied so much. No, Sean was saying this. You lied so much that we didn't even believe that you had a stroke. We were joking about it.
They had a stroke.
What else he gonna come up with? I bet she gonna tell us tomorrow he got cancer. That's crazy, but I can see it happen.
It's real, because you probably got cousins. You know, you done heard them lie. You know, a few times.
And they're not. I mean, they're not young. They're old. So they've been hearing these lies.
Yeah.
So that means it's habitual,
and
that's
crazy.
ridiculous. And then Sean was saying. Well, no, it wasn't Sean.
That's
it was Esau. I forgot what he was saying.
I forgot. I was ready to.
What was he saying? I forgot the point I wanted to make. You know, because I started talking about Sean.
Yeah, you know that, and he got kind of, when they was asking about the you know, telling his story, and they were like, you know, you started to give us these sad stories again.
Oh,
and
he got, they were over it. They were over it. They like, we done seen your tears. We done seen your emotion. We ain't got time for this. Just say you sorry and let's move on. He's like, you don't know because you don't know me. I ain't told you nothing.
I mean, yeah, he went.
And then he
went
Iyanla was like trying to calm him down, like, don't put your
hands on me. I mean, it seemed like he went all the way old.
He went all the way old.
Then the older son,
he was like, he's about to check his dad.
You don't want my hand out.
You don't want me to touch you?
Your hands on me too.
He said, I'm your son, so I can touch you if I want to. Like, just because you're my son don't mean you can put your hands on me.
That was a whole scene. And then the other one, the old light skinned one.
Oh, Esau.
You know, I was like, oh, sweet Jesus.
He got emotional. They were not here for their dad. And you could tell, like, he's had an influence a little bit on each of them. Because if that was Juba's first time, you know, kind of interacting with his dad, he wouldn't have had that physical, like, reaction. And all of them was like, you know, Dad, we over. We ain't got time. You can cry if you want to. But that's not what we're here for. We've seen it. We've done it. Then he told a story about, about to jump off the roof. Sean said, you know what? I was about to kill myself. You know, so it's a cycle. We don't care.
He went over on me. You did that? I did it too. What else you got? You know?
Trying to one-up each other. And that's crazy.
Man. Yeah, it was, man. And so,
and it seemed like we kind of concluded quickly.
That's usually how they get to a certain
point. Iyanla used to give us
15 minutes.
We used to see like a change.
An actual
kind of maybe like at least like at the 40-minute mark. Not at the 55-minute mark. We changed there.
It's like, I'm tired.
Yeah, everybody tired.
Okay, and then she looking at the cameraman, All right, and then, and keep it moving for the last 15 minutes. But, everybody seemed like they was forgiving.
Yeah, the sons were willing. They were willing and ready to forgive. They were just waiting on the father to actually own up,
to have ownership to his line, and do. I guess, when you tell that many lies, you really can't trust nobody. And so I think they was at that point where, you know, they like, okay, everything we done right now. Just don't lie to us
again.
And you know, that's where we at now. Fuck, you know, forget the emotional shit. You know, it's either you be straight with me or
it's over. Like,
this is it.
Because I mean, especially they're at the age that they don't necessarily have to have a relationship with their father. They're grown, so.
I don't think they were still.
I think they
a relationship.
No, I think they. You said you think they still need it.
You still need a relationship.
I think at this point they can do without it. I don't think
you can
relationship.
deal.
I think a relationship with the father. I don't think at this point will make or break them. It'll probably make. Well, I can say it can make them, but I don't think it will break them. I don't think if they lost that.
But I can see what you're saying now.
Yeah, because I mean, if they were younger, then it can have more of an influence. But now, I mean, Juba said he got 5 kids of his own. Sean got his own life. Esam's doing his own thing. So whether the father's in their life at this point, it won't make any. Never mind. They're doing their own thing. They're grown. So, but it seemed like the father apologized and he was asking for their forgiveness. Then we went to a little Iyanla ritual. Where you know,
like some drums,
some African drum,
you know, and a flute or something in the background. I don't know.
Oh, that was old Color Purple moment. What a girl!
You have to bring Color Purple.
That's the drum scene where she was about to shave Mister, and the woman came up and who was that?
Called her name.
She came up and grabbed. Remember, she grabbed her arm. Who was that? It wasn't. I'm not Oprah.
Miss something.
Suge Avery, yeah.
Suge.
Okay. But then, what about the flash forward?
Well, everybody gave their update. The brothers seem like they're getting in contact with each other. I think the oldest brother, I guess he lives in a different state or a different town or something than the other.
That's what it seemed like.
Because both of them seemed like they were
felt like
visiting.
at the beginning, she was saying like they had an older brother that was like 15 minutes away or something like that. I thought when she was doing her little talk, that's what she was saying. But maybe at that point, he was, but now since he got 5 kids, he got to get away. I gotta get away.
They found him. Goddamn Iyanla. And everybody said that they have a better relationship with their father, and they're still trying to build. And then all the brothers are trying to get together, and and they talk several times a week.
I think it's important to have a decent relationship with your father.
I mean,
that's my my words of wisdom, because I didn't have that. So, and I was watching this episode and I was thinking, like, I was trying to see myself in what was going on, but I decided I wasn't going to put myself in that situation, because then it would have turned into a whole nother review.
Yeah, Mike would have been in the corner crying.
Shaking. And ain't nobody got time for that.
Until next time, people. We don't know when that is. They didn't tell us like when it was going to come back.
It's always a surprise. It's like, man, did you hear Iyanla come back?
It's always going to be some celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I feel like, but as far as the season finale, I feel like this wasn't really.
It wasn't finale-ish?
No. It was just kind of. This seemed like it could have been a good episode 2.
We done.
Instead of
the last show was like the last 15 minutes. Okay. About time. We done.
Just waiting on this end.
Yeah. I can see that.
But anyway, hopefully next season is epic, which I doubt. The first episode, am I putting too much pressure? Epic, is like too big?
Yeah, that is. That is, because
well, I'll break it down. Hopefully the next season is good.
They're gonna have Kanye.
Oh, that would be epic.
Hey, if they had that
Kanye, man. Chris Brown, Lindsay Lohan, just anybody that's crazy right now, I can see. I'm here for it.
She need Kanye crazy ass. Until next time, people.